Oh, don't go breaking my heart. I wouldn't if I tried. Do you have to do a female's voice? I think you have to do a female's voice. Uh, you get random songs pop in your head. I didn't even listen to Elton John. I looked up on Spotify this song because I actually didn't know it was Elton John. And dude, this was, I don't know, back in the 80s maybe. He looks like a stalker. That is straight up stalker. He looks way better now, like his style now, than he did then. And then you know what else I figured out was there was a remake version with Jesse McCartney and Anne Hathaway doing this song. I mean, if you're gonna listen to me sing it, it does sound horrible, but Anne Hathaway, it's not good. It's not good. I dare you to look it up and listen to it. It's not. It's not great. But then again, I'm a generational asshole and assume everybody or anything that is in the past, as far as music, anyway, historical music is tough to listen to. It's I don't connect with it, but probably for many reasons. So that's just me being an ignorant asshole. But welcome back to the RMP, guys. I'm Zachary, your host of this soulful podcast. We'll say soulful today. If you want to hit me up, you can always email me at zachary@therebelminded.com or check out my newsletter on Substack at therebelminded.substack.com. And we are here to question the mess, make some rebel actions as always, and start living life on our own terms. And I want to know, how do we live life as our true selves? The self that will look into us at the end and ask us, did we do it all? So I have another prompt, and I want to try to start digging into these in a way that makes sense in the terms of the way that we question things. But let's get to the prompt first, and then we'll build on top of that. How do I become this person I've always dreamed about becoming? What's the difference between him and me? What do I have to show for the 6 years I've spent trying to become something more real? The person I felt I was meant to be. People may like me, but do I? What have all these days been for? It definitely doesn't feel like progress. It feels like floundering. Will I get stuck here? Never finding myself or truly dedicating myself to anything. What's missing that will give me the obsessive motion that I need? Is it passion? Is it just mindset? Is it environment? Is it lack of appreciation and being grateful? Is it purely just daily choices? Or is there a custom key that works just for me? I have 4 years left. What will I do? This was not even a year ago. And I want to emphasize the fact that this type of thing happens over and over and over again on that super rickety path of figuring out who we all are. When I started 6 years ago, as I referenced in this prompt, in this journal entry, it was all ambition and all naivety and no realization of what was to come, of the nuanced things about each subject, about the waste of money and the waste of time. And when you compare it to so many other people out there, these big names out there, 6 years is almost nothing, right? It seems like most people that are entrepreneurial or, set out to fulfill a dream, you always hear them in the greatest of clarity about what they do, why they do it, how they got there. But it's very few times that they really talk about how deeply difficult it is in the beginning trying to find out who you are, how cloudy it is, how inefficient they are. And this has been my own journey, coming down to finally figuring out that I wanted to write and to author and to speak about individuality and about individual power and whatnot, has been through years and years of failing and sucking at a lot of things. And I just now feel like I've got my hands on something that makes sense, even though the title feels pretty obvious to me. The content still is like, what the fuck am I doing? What is this all for? And I remember back at this time, I was just desperate here. And writing has become this thing where I'm speaking to myself because I don't speak to other people about what I'm trying to do. And I do that for my own various reasons, but I'm not necessarily saying that they're healthy. I'm just saying that writing has become this thing where it's not only something that I want to do, it's also something that helps me clear up what it is that's so fucked up in my own mind. Like I've told you guys before, like if I could afford a therapist, I definitely would. But I think what's hard for all of us, and what I would want people to attach to most, is that most of the time, it seems like in the first 5 years, you're just shooting in the dark. And it would be so much more beneficial if there were people that were doing this with us hand in hand. Like if you're lucky enough to have friends, or you're lucky enough to have someone that you're in a relationship with that sees the world the way that you do, as far as pursuing dreams and being disciplined and seeing the optimism and the capitalizing abilities in life, then it'll ease that difficulty. It'll give you somebody to bounce things against. It'll give something for you to something and someone to find therapy with. And I don't think that everyone has to be this desperate. I do think that there does have to be a very difficult struggle, whether it be intense struggles or it be long-term struggles, and trying to figure out who we are and what we're meant for. And a lot of times this stuff just fucking sucks, and you're trying to figure out how to enjoy yourself at the same time that you build something. And I think the thing that matters most in these situations is just doing. It's just doing things to keep your mind off the desperation, to keep yourself from falling into a pit more often than necessary, because it's definitely going to happen. There's going to be financial situations that happen. There's going to be inspirational things that happen, or the drought that you have from your craft, from your imagination, from your abilities. There's just a lot of stuff that's going to get in your way. And it's going to come down to what you can sacrifice, as far as material things, as far as time, as far as camaraderie, as far as self-indulgence, entertainment. I have a problem with that right now. What tends to happen is we think we know our limits, and we think we know when we need to rest. And then as time goes on and our actions repeat and nothing changes, we realize that we're still not sacrificing enough. And I'm not saying sacrifice as far as just dedicate 110% of your time to everything that is building a business, or building a lifestyle, or building a dream, or building upon an idea. Because like I said in episode 116 about the gray area, is you have to make sure to live your life at the same time, or else you start to lose connection to whatever purpose you have. So when you're not living, then you're going to find that you lose the attachment to what living is about. So if you're not living, then you lose the ability to see what living is about, if that makes sense. So I have like 3 more years on my 10-year plan. I made a 10-year plan, a loose 10-year plan. I had a deal that I made with myself back when I was 28. And it's hard, these things, to watch time pass and to see that it feels like you haven't gotten anywhere. And the only advice that I can give to you guys, that I think that I didn't find for myself early on, was that in the beginning, for as long as you can handle, you should be driving forward into educating yourself and creating new skills, to where, number one, you're capable of handling business or employment or or making money or influence in many different factions of life. So the more skilled you are, the better. But also, those skills are going to cross-relate and compound your ability in a lot of different areas. So if you have 3 or 4 things that you become really, really good at, it builds your abilities for doing things for other people exponentially out in the world. And that's something that I didn't really start understanding until just this year, turning 35. So the big thing about this prompt is that there's a lot of darkness in it. There's a lot of me being depressed and super doubtful and afraid. I am still, to this day, super afraid of running out of time. And I think that when we think like that, it's usually an insight to the fact that maybe we're not sacrificing enough. Maybe we're not pushing ourselves enough. Maybe we are indulging too much. Maybe we're not doing enough to make us feel the small amounts of progress that make us confident about what we're doing and make us feel good about what we're doing. And so it's very easy to fall apart. So I don't want anybody to have to become that desperate. I don't want anybody to have to become that dark. And the next best thing is conversations and with people about these types of things, about dreams, about depth, about human existence, about human purpose. We don't get enough of that. Most of us do not get enough of that. So if there's another thing that I can point out to you is include people that want to grow the way that you do. You have to find people that are on the same level you are, because most are going to live within contentment, and it's not going to be enough. It's not going to be enough for you, and in the end, it's probably not going to be enough for them. And those are people that you don't want to be around. So to avoid desperation and darkness like in this prompt, make sure that you're stacking yourself with all sorts of skills, become ambitious, learn to love your sacrifice, learn to love the type of work that you dive into, and surround yourself with the people that really fucking matter, that support your decisions and support your idea of what you can do for the world and support sacrifice and ambition. It's something I think we all need. So that's it for today. Yeah, that's a good place to stop. Praise God. I'm just kidding. No, that's not me. But if you are religious, praise God. I'm your host, Zach. Out. And if you are getting my podcast on Substack, make sure to jump in and leave a comment and discuss this thing with me. And if you find value in the podcast, you can always help me keep this thing live by becoming a paid subscriber if you want, giving you access to all of my content and discussions on Substack. You can even join my chat. Go to therebelminded.substack.com to sign up. Truth and love, you beautiful, amazing humans. Hey guys, I hope that all things we've brought here, including the people, have helped you change the way that you see the world. And if it has, then it would help us so much if you leave a rating and a comment on iTunes or give any feedback wherever you listen to the RMP. Thank you for listening in, and don't forget to follow and subscribe. Question everything, my friends.